right. Hey guys. So let's go ahead and jump on into a bonus general message. So these are the ones that I always start out with an anecdote, something about my dog. Um, if you don't know my dog, by the way, I do have a vanity channel for him called Tarot Dog, Regretless Life with Aries. I've had it for about 2.5 years. The free link is right in the description box. And I do put out, I've just started doing this, a daily collective message that the audience gets to suggest the general topic, and it's much more generalized. So if you want to check that out, you can. I'll be uploading more videos of him as well. Some of the ones there are now from when he was a pup. So let's get into this though. But the topic for today that maybe sets a tone for this particular message is Aries has been in like a mood lately where, I mean, he's always very Velcroed to me, but he saw me open. Just all I did was open the door of the truck. That's it. And I turn around and Aries is in the truck. Now, I wasn't even going anywhere. I was opening the truck because I was looking through the glove box trying to find something that I'd put in there. And there he is, ready to go. And it's just really, really cute. He's like, if there was one thing that I will never be, it's alone because I have a blue healer and it is heartwarming and it's amazing. And he and I go everywhere together. And it's just really cute to see he's ever ready. So maybe somebody's ready to go. Maybe somebody is like, I'm getting in the truck. Let's do this. And it's like, oh, but I wasn't going anywhere. Well, I'm ready. You want to think about going somewhere? It feels like somebody is ready. The fact that it's motivated by love. By the way, you guys, the chat is on. I don't know why sometimes there's glitches, but I don't see that you guys can leave any messages, but I do have the chat on. So I hope that there's no other problem with this, that I'm unaware of audio glitches or something. Lately, we've had some glitches, but we'll just push on through and hope for the best. The fact that we've got a King of Wands, heart-centered, sure about what they want, confident, but they're facing a locked door. So we have somebody who, for them, it's go time, is what it looks like, because they're in the upright. They know what they want, but they're staring at a locked door. And this is a Four of Pentacles card. So this is either, I would have said it's stubborn energy, but it's not stubborn on their behalf. It's almost like they're sitting there outside of a door going, open, open, like, I kind of feel like this character is totally unperturbed, unashamed. If they want to open up that door, they want to sit in front of it all day long, they will, because they know they want what's behind that door. We got a Tower in the reverse. We got an Ace of Pentacles upright. This is a character who says, I'm having a new beginning, and it's behind that door. It's not over. What is it that they think isn't over? They're not letting go of something. I mean, they are nothing if not persistent, and it makes me smile. What's behind that door is a disappointment, a missed opportunity between lovers. We do have the Lovers in the reverse. Hold on. What is this about? Because if we have a King of Wands who knows what they want, what's behind the door, they want a new beginning. They're not going to let this go. They're super disappointed by the fact that there was already someone let somebody go. Was it them who let a lover go? By the way, we do have Gemini energy now. Was it the king? They could be I want to say a warm sign, a fire sign. They don't have to be a Leo, Sag, Aries, but they certainly could be. But who let who go? What's that? Or did these characters let each other go? Ooh, Six of Cups, Ace of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so it was a timing thing. There was almost like a promise that, like, I'm going, but I'm coming back. This is the returning soulmate energy. But there was like some kind of manifestation that needed to happen with this Ace of Wands. And that either delayed this or minimized what kind of an offer could be given at the time. This could be on their behalf, only because we're looking at more fire energy. And so what would a King of Wands hold? A fiery wand, right? That's kind of in their domain. So if we've got this vibe of, look, it wasn't the right time, but I was always coming back, then why the regrets? Why the regret of this separation? Instead of just the promise that I'm coming back. Oh, we got the Emperor, we got the Death card. There is a song, and I want to say it might be Frightened Rabbit. I think it's Frightened Rabbit. But the lyrics are something along the lines of, I regret leaving my soul. I forgot I needed it to feel. But then there's something about, but I'm coming right back. It's almost like, I'm going to be reincarnated. I'm coming right back. But it's like, I regret losing my mind. I forgot I needed it to think. And it's a great song, but it's something about, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. That's like kind of the thumping refrain in it. It's kind of like alt music. Um, God, I hope that that's the right artist. And I can't even think of the title of the song either, but those are some of the lyrics from it. It feels like this character said, well, I regret it because I needed to end stuff so I can come back in as an emperor. Death and rebirth. I found the person that I want to dance with, but something's got to change. I've got to go ahead and, be ready to be an emperor. I wasn't ready. So now I'm sitting here and I'm saying, oh, no, that's the door I want to open. Yeah, I'm ready for this new beginning. But the timing wasn't right. I met my person. I knew it, but I had to go out and do some other stuff. Had to go out and get ready. Had to go out and brush up. Had to go out and become what I needed to be for myself in order to feel ready. Okay, so tell me about the death card, though. I would argue that they thought this route would be better because we got Nine of Swords in the reverse. They thought ending something completely and then coming back in like as a new person with new energy would be the preferred choice. It would be so much less stressful instead of trying to do something that you're not ready for. Okay, I'll use this. Once upon a time, the first time I ever took organic chemistry, I took it on an accelerated course over the summer. I had never taken chemistry ever, so I was so in over my head. It was an agonizing summer, and I was getting a D in it, and I withdrew at the very end. And then when I took it, I'm glad that I did it because it was like my intro to everything, and I sucked so bad, and I was like, I have no reference point for this. Then when I took it again, right after that, I was like, oh, this isn't so tough after all. Well, it was still tough for me, but I was able to have a reference point. I got the information. It was good that I did that first intro, and the fact that it slammed me because I worked really, really hard, still wasn't putting the pieces together. But then the next go round and the start of the term, it was all right. And so I did kind of have to work extra hard. But let me put it this way, that summer sucked so bad. Was there a lot of free time? No. Working full-time, 2 jobs and going to school, not super easy. So did I have time for other stuff? No. Sometimes we don't have time for other stuff. It would just be a mess. It would just be more stress than it's worth. So it'd be less stressful to just put everything on the back burner aside from what we must do, and then come back in and have it go a lot smoother. And it's like, that's what this character decided to do. Like, it'll be less stressful if I don't even try to deal with this soulmate right now, because I got to go fix some stuff up. I got to spruce some stuff up, and that stuff is me. I got to be an emperor. This could have been career stuff, money stuff, whatever they felt that they needed to do. They said, I can't pursue romance right now, especially not with someone that I really want, because I can't devote the time to it. So it'll be less stressful not trying to do it when I know I've got some stuff I got to brush up on. Okay. They do still have a regret, though. A regret that it couldn't have just been go time right out of the gate. A regret that they had to separate from a person that they wanted during this time frame. But at this point, why is the door still locked? It looks like this person is determined that door is going to open because the king is sitting there staring at it. 10 of Swords in the reverse. They're sitting there staring at it saying, it's not over. It's a mess. There's pain on the other side of that door that hasn't been addressed. That's probably why the door is locked. Okay, so let me ask the more important question. How do they think that door is going to open? Because we got chains on this door. And they're just patiently sitting out there going, I know I love what's behind that door. I mean, yeah, it's a train wreck, but I know I want what's behind that door. How do they think the door is going to open? We've got a high priestess. They're saying, I sense that someone will open the door for me. I feel that I'll know when the time is right to either go knock on the door, or that someone on the other side of that door, a high priestess, knows that I'm sitting out here. She knows it. She feels me out here. Fool card, 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords. It's funny because it's almost like they're saying, and I know that she knows I'm sitting on the other side of this door, and we're having little conversations right now. All up here, but I'm not just sitting in front of a door that's locked shut. I'm having full blown conversations with her. She knows it and I know it. She's saying, "You're a fool." And I'm not going to lift a finger. I'm stuck on the other side of this door where it hurts. So if anybody's going to move, it's going to be you, not me. It's like they know she's sending that vibe to them. I'm not moving towards you. You hurt me with this abrupt ending, this walking away. You made a really foolish decision, and that's why I won't open the door. I won't. Okay, what's their response to her? Because they don't seem to be all stressed about this. They seem to be like, yeah, I know. She's on the other side of that door. I'm talking to her right now. No, she won't open the door. She won't even speak to me, but we're talking mentally, and I know what she's thinking of me right now. What do they say in response to what she's got to say? Their response is life force energy. Their response is, it's a little bit like talking about the Wheel of Fortune and the Death card kind of all rolled into one. They're saying, but the fact that we have this bond in this, that our life force energy can communicate without even words, and you notice that we have like sacred geometry, almost like fractional looking imagery here. Like we've got a picture of everything, but it's, if you look a little closer, it's covered in this little silvery outlines of sacred geometry. This character, this king, is saying, I know, High Priestess. I know you don't want to open the door for me, but you know and I know that there's some other meaning here. There's some other sacred bond here. There's some other kind of like meant to be destiny kind of thing. They're not really ruffled by her resistance to them right now, because they're saying, yes, but we have the Magician, we have the Moon, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. They're saying, but you know and I know that we've always been manifesting this. I've always been on the other side of this door, even when I stopped talking to you and went and did what I needed to do, even during the time when I haven't been with you because I had to attend to other things. I had to tidy up my world, my life. I know you're mad at me for it, or you don't want to talk to me because you're holding back on purpose because it was painful, but you know and I know we've not really been apart at all. We haven't spoken. There's been a whole bunch of stuff under the surface, but this is a really weird message, but bear with me. It's almost like they're saying, but you've been giving me energy all this time. Maybe you didn't know it, but I hear your thoughts all the time. I've always felt your energy, and I've always felt the nurturing that you've sent me. I know it's like, okay, we could say it sounds arrogant, but this is not said that way. It's more like to her credit. They're saying, I've known all along that you genuinely loved me, that you have always given me good energy, that you've always given me something kind. I've known it. Even if you thought you weren't sending it to me because you've been mad at me, the only reason you were mad is because I know you care genuinely about me. There's a wisdom here. This person, this king, who seems a little bit unruffled by her resistance at letting them back in or even communicating with them, they're sitting here going, but I communicate with her all the time. And I'm finally this emperor. I'm going to be back in her life. I've always been meant to be in her life. And all the time we've been apart, this has simply been a stage of manifestation. If this had been handled differently, if it had been like, hey babe, I got to take off for the weekend. You know that work is making me travel. I'll see you, in 2 days. That would have been a whole different thing, right? It would have been like, okay, no hard feelings, no big fights, no, none of this. But that's That's the equivalent of what happened, only that's not the way it happened, because somebody had to upgrade their whole life. This wasn't like a work trip and they were just coming back. This is somebody who met the right person and then said, wow, I got to go do some work. So I'm gone to go do all that, but it was probably a prolonged amount of time. And in that time frame, there wasn't connection, there wasn't interaction in the 3D, but there certainly has been all along in the 5D, because they're sitting over here saying, but with the sacred geometry, with the manifestation, with even the subconscious, and with all of this energy flow, there's never been a time when I wasn't still connected to you. Okay, I'm wincing here because I'm like, that's all well and good, but what about the fact that on the high priestess's end, it was hurtful and it was really stuck energy? And then let me ask one more time, what is she saying with that fool? What is this fool? Because I've made a suggestion about it, but the King of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so she's pissed because she's saying, you took a leap of faith toward me when you knew that you weren't a king in the upright. And that got me stuck. You tried to reserve my energy when you knew darn well that you weren't ready to give me something of equal value. And that was selfish. So she's hurt and mad over that. You found me. You decided, like, basically, it's almost like she's saying, she, he, please be mindful. And these are fictional stories about fictional characters, and I don't read for genders, but to keep the storyline straight, I have to use some kind of identifiers, right? But it's as if she's saying, you got me stuck on you. You told me that you were ready to take a leap when you knew darn well you weren't. That's what really hurts. And that's where she is saying, that's how I got stuck on you. But a King of Wands in the reverse, she says, you did that out of mean ego. You did something to create a karmic cycle with me where you said one thing that you knew you weren't ready for. It's like some future faking. They saw what they wanted, they acted like they were ready for it, but maybe she says, you knew that you weren't, so why did you do that? That's the reason the door is still shut on her side. That's why she won't open it up. Let me get one more on that. We got two more. Oof. 2 of coins in the reverse, 7 of pentacles. Her argument keeps being like, instead, you don't leave people hanging. You could have said, babe, I've got stuff I've got to go work on. I know that I want this. I'm not leaving things in limbo, but it's going to be time before I can, be present. And she's arguing that's how you should have handled it, not leaving things in limbo and making me wonder what's going on, making me wonder if you're just, hedging bets, seeing what else is out there, not actually investing anything anywhere. So I can see her big argument, and that's why she said that was toxic. You don't act that way. And that's why she won't open the door for them. Do they understand that part? Like her perception of it? Do they understand that? We have got a 4 of Pentacles, a 2 of Cups, and the Star. They do. But, and again, I'm not advocating, I'm just trying to explain the story. They're saying, yeah, I completely understand. But the truth is, she should have held back from me, because as much as I loved her, I didn't have the waterfall to give her. I had to go out and I had to get that. And to get that, I needed to put my focus on something. I had to focus on my tree of life. She's upset with me, doesn't want to open the door because I held back from her, but I held back because I loved her so that I would have more to give. Still, her big question here, or her big gripe, is that you said one thing, acted like you wanted to take a leap of faith, but you didn't. You held back. Their argument is, but I did it for the right reason. But I can't get past this, where she says, why didn't you just say what you were working on instead of leaving this, you could have cleared up a lot of confusion. There is some kind of like a big unspoken bond, but I'm going to hold their feet to the fire and just say, with her saying, but why did you not express it? Why did you not explain what you're working on? Why did you not handle it in that way? What is their response to that? Ooh, I'm diving for answers today, aren't I? We got an Ace of Cups upright. We got a 10 of Cups. I'm not sure if I should say that this character is saying because I wanted to come in and make a big splash. That's not quite fair for me to express it that way, I think, because their response when she says, why did you not just say something? Why didn't you say what you were working on? Why didn't you tell me confidently what was going on? And they're saying, because I want to offer you something that is fully formed and available. I don't want to offer you less than what you deserve. I don't want to come in and say, oh, someday I'm going to give you a whole bunch. And it's like, but they already said they wanted to take a leap of faith, but then they held back. In their mind, they're like, I did say the truth. I want to take a leap of faith, but I also didn't have anything to offer. And I want to offer the real deal. The first time that I give my heart, I want it to be the whole heart. I want it to be the whole happiness. I want to be able to offer the entire future, not just the future that I'm planning. I want to actually come in and give that offer. So in their mind, they're like, I didn't say what I'm working on because that's like a promise of something that someday you'll get something good. In their mind, maybe they thought that they didn't want to appear to be breadcrumbing, but instead she's like, then instead you did future faking. This is a tough one because I can kind of see both sides. They definitely approach this in completely different ways. I don't know that I would say that this person was up in their ego, which is what her assumption is about them. It actually looks like this character really wanted to give her something tremendously worthy that they didn't have yet. They overstated what they wanted to do and didn't have it yet. So they didn't show up anymore. But they stayed bonded to her. They knew this is the person they want. They feel that vibe. They feel that connection. They want to give something, like they want to give it all, is what this says. So one more time, how is this door going to open? Because they're sitting out here saying, I already know she senses what I'm thinking because we're having this mental communication going on either side of this locked door that exists between us. I guess my big question is, what are they going to do about the locked door? Because even with all this, oh God, serious? We got the high priestess again. I couldn't even think of the word high priestess. I was going to say all this information passing between a locked door, but with this, like, it's almost like somebody has like a little teeny tiny peephole and they're just like, they're speaking through a little teeny tiny porthole, only it's the energy flow between the two of them. And we just doubled down on this. When I keep asking, so what's going to open that door? What action's going to be taken? And it's like, the answer is, well, we're going to keep not talking about it in realistic terms, but keep doing some energy conversation. Really? Because I'm freaking annoyed and exhausted with this. Four of Wands in the reverse. Hold on. I have no idea how to say this. Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands. Okay. I said, how is this door going to open if there's so much dialogue going on, but it's all in the 5D realm? Nothing's happening in the 3D realm. How is this ever going to change? What's going to happen? And it says nothing's going to change right now. We still don't have a Four of Wands in the upright. We have liar, liar, pants on fire, and we have blockages. Somebody's not being truthful about just how much obstacle is actually here. I'm wondering if they are downplaying how much she's erected a huge boundary. And if they think at some point, because I know she can hear my thoughts and I know she cares about me still, and I love her so much and I'm going to give everything to her as soon as she puts down her walls. They might be tripping if they're thinking that she's just going to bring down those walls, is what we see here. It does not look like she's going to be doing that. And I think that they're lying to themselves, thinking that they can magically sit there long enough and think thoughts at her without really taking action. Why are they not really taking action? Sitting there is not action. Even though they're a king in the upright, projecting love, projecting, emperor vibes and all that. Emperors and kings take action. So why are they not? Oh, okay. Now we get down to it. because they're scared. They're scared to go knock on that door. So they just keep sitting around outside, sending her all these hits, all these thoughts. I think of you, open the door, reach out to me, reach out to me, reach out to me, reach out to me, because I'm scared to knock on the door. So I'd rather just do the mental connection. Then how are they a king or an emperor? Kings and emperors take action. Fear doesn't stop them, especially in a scenario like this. They went so far to try to like create this opportunity where they could really offer her something that they feel is worthy of her and the way they feel about her. But now they're just sitting there going, I know she loves me. I can feel her. I can hear her, but I'm so scared to actually face her. So instead, I just want to do the 5D until she invites me back in. She will not invite them in. They have to take action. If they took action to walk away, they have to take action to walk back in. She will not open that door without like a show of good faith. No matter how much 5D connection there is, when there are hurt feelings, and both characters understand where those hurt feelings come from, I think it needs to be addressed in the 3D with real communication, with real, and it looks like they're saying, well, I want to give all that, but first she has to let me in. But she's got to let me in because I'm too scared to knock on the door. Why are they so scared to knock on the door? Oh my God, this is such a long video. If you guys are enjoying this, even though it's epic, if you enjoy me diving deep for our characters, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. We got the Temperance in the upright. Why are they so scared to knock on the door? It's funny because it's almost like they're afraid to, what if she only says that I can be friends with her? It's like they're afraid to find out what her actual answer is. What if everything that I want to give to her, she goes, all right, thanks. I get it. Yeah, I'm not mad at you anymore. We can be friends. Their intention was not to be friends. Their intentions was, they see her as a 2 of cups. They see her as their 10 of cups. But they're going to sit there and wait out of fear that what if I've done all this and she doesn't want to be more than friends with me now? What's the universe's advice for this character? Because right now, this just feels very, very tedious, and it feels like it's time to face some fears and just go for it. She was mad because they didn't offer her something real after they claimed they were going to. Why they think that now she'll maybe only friend zone me, and I'm scared to hear that, I don't know. Because if they are really going to win her, woo her, heal the wounds that she felt with that 10 of Swords in the reverse, they're going to need to give this, right? Like, universe, what do you have to say to this person? What's going to maybe be of assistance to them? 4 of Swords. They got to see it from her perspective, especially if they're sitting there knowing how she felt about all this and knowing why the door is shut on them. She's carried around a lot of hurt, a lot of burden. To heal something, you got to give somebody a reason to let that sand out of the sleeves of their kimono. That's weighing this whole thing down. There's unhealed wounds that have to be addressed. And granted, healing, we could say, well, healing takes time, but it also takes effort. That's why we have wound care specialists. That's why the medical profession exists, is because how you have to give attention to the wound that's there. If they are afraid, well, what if she only puts me in the friend zone? They would be lucky for her to put them there first, because it gives them an opportunity then to help heal this wound, because this heavy energy has to be dealt with, and it can't be dealt with in the 5D. It has to be dealt with in the 3D. So there is action, and that's going to require words on their part. 4 of Swords is thoughts and communication. They actually have to speak, and it's going to probably have to be on their side if they're going to heal the wounds that they caused with the Hermit energy, the isolation time, the loneliness, there's a lot that has to probably be explained about why there was silence. The Hermit's journey is the journey of needing to heal oneself. If this king had stuff that they needed to do, they've got to explain that journey. They've got to explain how they're different now. They have to explain their thought process behind why they went into silent mode, what they were doing during silent mode, and how they've come out the other side. Or it's not There's not going to be an understanding enough that's going to allow healing, is what I would look at here. I mean, it's just my interpretation. I don't know if that's right, but that's the way, it's the only way I can see that. The universe also says, not only is it time now, it's been time. You've been wasting time. You're burning up years you could be spending with her, months you could spend with her, days, hours you could spend with her. How much more time do you want to waste? The time is now. We got the Wheel of Fortune in the upright for this character. They've got to probably knock on the door. It's the only way this will ever go anywhere. So if this has been, it feels like this has been a maddening time of these characters having all of this silent dialogue. They're not speaking. They haven't seen each other. There's this huge blockage between them. They think of each other nonstop, and it's a consistent, like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this on her part? You lied to me. You said something, and then you weren't who you said you were. Why'd you do this? If you were really out there working on something, why'd you do that? Why'd you not tell me the truth? Why did you let me be stuck? Because she's stuck in pain, stuck on this hurt, this hurt, this hurt. Why'd you do it? That's going to have to be addressed, is what this says. Look, I'm not saying she's right, or, this is what they need to do, that jerk, blah, blah, blah. Like, that is so not the way I want this storyline to come across. But if they have this much love and they made changes in their life for this love, they maybe didn't go about it in the right way. But to explain a hermit's journey, it can be done, and they really want to. And that explanation is the only way back into this. But the time is already now. It should have already happened. This card got eaten by my puppy when he was a baby. And I still use it because, to me, it adds a whole nother meaning to the Wheel of Fortune, which is lots of times we actually have everything we need and we squander it. They are squandering, or this romance, this love is being squandered. The time two people could share together. Focus on the healing and then get the damn healing done so that you can get to the good stuff, especially if there's love here. If there wasn't an intent to hurt, but there has been hurt, for God's sakes, fix it. It's not that the end of the world. Hurt can be healed. Wounds can be healed. Broken bones can be healed. For goodness sakes, so can emotions. But doing nothing and expecting it to magically happen so that they can avoid the fear of finding out, what if she doesn't want to say yes? They're procrastinating because they really want this and now they're scared. What if she won't open the door up? Well, if you never say anything to her, she definitely will never open the door, and this will simply be a squandered opportunity, and possibly a very important opportunity for these two to have the High Priestess twice, to have that mental bond, and to have this huge planetary alignment where this is the time for them to be in a union. They need to get with it, get with the program. Don't miss this, don't miss this. Is there a message from the universe to her? I'm very curious about this one. Prince of Sacred Circles. As hard as this is, this says, we're on a journey, whether it's fast or slow. The journey of our life is longer than we think it is. And we're supposed to enjoy every moment of that journey. She said, I got stuck. You said something to me, then you weren't who you said you were, and I haven't been able to get over you. You made me be stuck, that Eight of Swords. And the universe says to her, no, you have not been stuck. If you're stuck, it is a choice, because your life continues to move on. You continue to age and grow. You learn new things every day. You're stuck on the thing that you want resolved, but in reality, your growth hasn't stopped. Your life has still been blossoming. So count up the beautiful things. It may have bogged you down. It may have slowed you down, but you have still been growing. Give me another for her, because I think this is intended, this message from the universe to her is intended for her to let go of some of the hurt. In fact, the universe is saying, in some ways, she made big changes in the time frame that they've been away. She went through major changes in her life. The universe is urging her to look at those major changes, not in regards to them. It's like, no, baby, stop thinking about them. Stop focusing on this situation, and instead look at what areas of life have you grown in? What areas of life have you changed in? She's opened new chapters and ended old ones. She might have moved. She might have you know, created whole new avenues of opportunities in her life. She might have ended other difficult things in her life that had nothing to do with them. This says, sweetheart, notice what you've done in the time that they have not been a part of your life. Notice how much your life has actually changed. There are things in her life that have actually gotten a lot better. Now, she still harbors resentment and hurt feelings toward this situation and toward the way it was handled. And we're not negating the hurt that she was caused, but the universe is, I think, is so important. And I think it's really beautiful. The universe is nudging her to say, no, baby, you have done a lot and you've changed a lot. And some cycles that maybe you needed to, have improve and end and shift. You've done those things too. They have been off there, doing their own thing, trying to become that emperor, trying to close cycles and rebuild themselves. But sweetheart, you've done it too. They didn't inhibit pieces of your life as a whole. The only thing that was inhibited is your connection to them, because it only existed in the 5D for all this time. It's just been in the 5D. And yes, that sucks. But your actual growth in life has not been impeded. In fact, you've done some remarkable things. But you haven't counted them up until now, because it's probably happened slowly. And yet she's a very different person now. And I would say, in many ways, even though she still will not open the door to them right now, Six of Cups, Ace of Sacred Circles, and the Ace of Wands. Okay, don't get mad at the messenger. Remember, these are fictional characters, but the universe says to her, sweetheart, you maybe don't want to hear me say this, but some of the things that you changed have made you more ready to actually be with a soulmate as well. All this time she's been saying, you didn't do this. Where were you? You said you wanted something, then you weren't there, and you got me stuck. They had to go off and they had to go kind of reinvent themselves. In this storyline, it says, without her realizing it, she's done a similar journey. She is a better person today. She is a stronger person. She has learned more. She is a wiser person. She is more prepared to have a very powerful soulmate union, a new beginning, a more loving, more adventurous. This is the thing. The Sphinx is the great mystery. So this is the thing that she's not fully identifying, even though a part of her does know it. She is more prepared and more ready to be with them than she was before. She thought she was before, but in truth, this is the upgraded 5.0 version. There were things in her life that had to change. Whatever, and it was significant. I feel like this is a major lifestyle change. Something is going to be more conducive. Who she was in the past is not that she wasn't great, but we've drawn a line in the sand. Her old life is very different than her new life. She may be more successful now, more free time now, or more content in a lot of aspects of her life and herself. Her mental state could actually be so much better, except in regards to just this situation with them. Right there, she's still harboring hard feelings. And it's not to say she doesn't have a right to, but the universe is laying out a really important thing that she hadn't identified yet, which is, darling, in the time they've been away, making themselves a better person, you have become a better person too. In many ways, you're stronger, you're more attractive, you're more accepting of who you are, you're sparkling more, you have a new concept, you care about different things now. You care more about love, maybe, and real passion than you ever have. You're going to have better bonds at this point than before. I think that's kind of a meaningful message in this. Do we have a final message for these two now? Because we need to wrap this up. Six of Swords. It is the time for these two. It would have been chaos had they tried to be together in the past. As much as she maybe doesn't want to identify that, or maybe hasn't been able to identify that, that's the reality. In the past, they would have had absolute chaos. They were not ready for this, either one of them. Sorry, but I got to double down on the message because that's what we just got. They're both in a calmer, more evolved, more enlightened space. This looks like these two can actually be really successful now. So at this point in time, are they going to knock on the door? I know I keep saying last card. I can't seem to stop. Are they going to knock on the door? We have Four of Wands, and it flipped itself out upside down. Not today, they're not. Not on the 6th. By the end of the week, or maybe on the 7th, we have the 7 of Sacred Circles. We have the Princess of Sacred Circles. They need a couple days still to put their thoughts in order to send a message that will be the equivalent of knocking on the door. They need to write something down. This is our messenger, and the message has to contain everything. It's better if they don't knock on the door on the 6th, as it turns out, because they really want to, when we reap the harvest of something, we want to get all the good stuff out of it, right? We see all of these different vegetables and things, and if you're going to get the most out of your harvest, you need to be prepared. Like, if you know that it's time to work with your apples, if you've got apple trees, you go, okay, some apples are for eating, some I'm going to chop up and save in freezer bags for pies. Others, they're the fall apples, are not great looking, but they're still sweet and delicious. Those ones I turn into applesauce. There's a lot of prep that has to go into all of that. And you got to kind of set aside time for it. And you've got to kind of be able to make the most out of every aspect so you don't waste any of it. They have to not just knock on the door, hi, I'm here. They actually have to probably collect their thoughts and really lay out. Their knock on the door is important. The way they reach out to her, a message that they send probably needs to contain all the really important parts about what they need to say. That's going to probably, the other reason they haven't done this, it's not just because they were afraid to find out what her answer might be. It's because they hadn't yet put all of their thoughts into one really big manifesto that will say everything about how they feel, everything about why they want to connect. We've seen them explain it all with these cards. I feel like you're my Two of Cups. There's a waterfall of energy that I want to give. I want us to be able to, I want to offer you something really big, something peaceful. I want us to have a good life together, not a mishmash, not a train wreck. I was so far away from having my life organized. My life was, my tree of life was overwhelming. I had to go deal with my tree of life. And all this time I've been feeling you. I've been feeling your energy. I felt divinely guided to you. I felt divinely connected to you. I've always felt like you loved me. And that made me do this. That made me want to do this. I know the door is closed and I understand why, but I'm a different person. And that was a person I had to go become if I'm going to ever be with you. That's why I did this. It wasn't to cause hurt or harm. It was, I really wanted to offer something of substance so that we can actually have a really successful life. It's kind of like they're saying, I've been carrying you with me through this whole thing. I haven't ever been apart from you, even though we have been very apart. I think they've got to be able to, I don't know if those are the words to say, right? But they've got a lot of things that have to be thought out so that they can convey, why did I do the things that I did? I have to say it in a way that she'll understand. So then maybe she'll open that door to me again and not just be like, yeah, whatevs. Friend zone, this has come too far and has been too meaningful. There's been too much hurt, but also too much love here to let it be like, I'm not going to bend. I'm not going to communicate. You're just going to be friend zoned. I don't, there's a time for a lot of understanding in this story. I don't usually advocate for my characters necessarily in stories like this, where it's been like, oh my God, this could have been handled so different. But in this story, I am so cheering for these two. I am so on their side. I want the best for these characters. I always do. But this one makes me think that these characters could actually really have it work out. Are there a bunch of things that are not terrific? Sure. Do we see characters who made big mistakes? Sure. But it didn't look like anybody was trying to do terrible, heinous, painful things to each other. Those are the storylines I do not support getting back together. But this one, it almost looks like these two have to get back together because there's so much love and connection here. And they both are in a better place than they've ever been in. So here's hoping for these guys. Thanks again for being here, you guys. If you do enjoy my fictional storytelling, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Drop me a comment. It lets me know you like the free content and want to see more of it. Thank you, guys. Bye.